Hello, this is Roland. Welcome. Today I want to talk about true life. See, there are two kinds of life. The only life that you've ever known is the life that requires tease. That's right. In the beginning, in the Garden of Eden, what happened? The serpent suggested that Adam could be great through knowledge. Could be like God. Well, Adam, his weakness was found out, and that he was ambitious, and he wanted to give it a try. But can you see that what the serpent had to say through Eve was a tease? It was a challenge. Okay? And Adam went for the tease. He went for the challenge. Of course, it was a lie, but he went for it. And then, because of that, he fell away from true life. You see, you might wonder, well, how is it that Adam changed? Originally he could have lived forever. He could have lived forever in paradise, he and Eve, on an endless journey of discovery, something like Star Wars or Star Trek, maybe like Star Trek, an endless journey of discovery. Every day learning more and more about God's great universe and about God. And then standing in awe and wonder of the Creator, of His genius, of His creativity. And that would be tantamount to worship, wouldn't it? But what happened? Well, Adam was ambitious, and he didn't. It wasn't good. It wasn't that it wasn't good enough for him, but he turned his back on it. Of course, he didn't know what he was getting into. He didn't know what he was getting into, or what was getting into him. But needless to say, he fell. So that's why he changed. He changed from eternal life, from knowing God and living in God's presence and having God's blessing and learning more and more of God. Okay? He fell from that to a lowly existence of having to get his life no longer from God, but now his life from plants and from nature, okay, and from other animals. So as you look around at the fallen human race, and we're all Adams and Eves, we're the great grandchildren of Adam and Eve. We inherit his nature. We inherit the fallen life. So it's a life of teasing and being teased. It's a life of having to get energy from other things, one way or the other, through eating, through absorbing other energy. When people are excited or shocked around you, then you can absorb their energy, or they absorb your energy. And the one who wins, the one who walks away smugly, and the other one walks away meekly and defeated. See, the one who wins gets the energy. See? Well, so that's a very lowly existence. Now, this business of gingering up other people and being gingered up, okay, exciting others and being excited, and making others angry and being made angry, and all of that sort of thing, it's all based upon tease, taunts, torments, temptations, see, pressures. Once you fall to the tease, then it becomes a pressure. And the whole business of goal setting and trying harder, see, it's all a tease. Try harder, study more, get better grades, see, stuff your brain with knowledge. See the challenge, see the tease. Now, some people learn differently. And the way we're supposed to learn is more like a discovery process. Remember I said in the beginning that if Adam had stayed close to God, it would have been a discovery process. Something like Star Trek. Okay, a great adventure. Well, it would have been like that. So learning would have been like that. And some people manage to hang on to that. Okay, they do. And a lot of kids will hang on to that See, if it's not ruined for them, usually it's ruined for them. Early on, they're forced to study and they resent it. Or they're forced to study, and then because of the hypnotic effect of concentrating, see, that's how you produce hypnosis, through concentration. So through concentrating and trying, see, which other people egg you on to try, to will, to want, see, to struggle, through that concentration, then it becomes hypnotic. And then the person gets trapped in the sea of knowledge. And then that's all that person knows then, study. Then there's a comfort in studying because it's hypnotic. See? Well, okay, so now you see what has happened to people. They've lost it. But some people hang on to it. For example, Albert Einstein hung on to it. He was in school, but he didn't like school, and he didn't do well in school. He sat in the back of the classroom like Tom Sawyer or Huckleberry Finn or Alfred E. Newman with a smile on his face, and the teacher didn't like that. See? But somehow he got through. But he studied on his own. A friend of the family came one time and gave him, when he was a little boy, gave him a geometry book. And he loved it. He loved that geometry book. He studied it with the help of that nice gentleman. He learned geometry. And he learned everything on his own. Then later, yeah, he did go to college, but he was able to handle it. See, because he still had that love of this. But look what he did. Look what he discovered. He didn't learn what he came up with. He discovered it. Isaac Newton was that type too. He discovered it. Remember one time he was a very good student, and he did go to school, and it didn't ruin him. See, some people it won't ruin them. They just, because they love discovery. So they do well despite school or in spite of school. But then there was a big plague came. And so he went to the countryside to live on one of his mom's farm or his aunt's, or I don't know, but somewhere. So he was there for many months, all by himself. And it was during that time that he made his great discoveries. His fundamental laws of physics, for example, like force equals mass times acceleration. He discovered those. But he didn't just discover that. I mean, he went into great detail. He learned tremendous, and calculus. See, he discovered calculus. And of course, Leibniz did too, but they both did. They both discovered it. So good for both of them. But they didn't learn it. They discovered it. See, so that's how you must become again. But now, this lowly life that you fell to, of having to extract energy, see, in order to live. See? And then when you run out of energy, when your little storehouse of energy, life force that you had is gone, and then when you can't extract energy, enough energy from people around you anymore, then what happens? Then you very quickly get ill and then die. Now do you see that you have to recover? You have to find this other way of living and moving and having your being, where you are close to God and you receive His energy from God, love from God, approval from God. But as long as you seek the approval of the world, see, then what Christ said, no man can serve two masters. He also said the love of the world makes for enmity with God. Okay? So as long as you seek and take in and want and you crave and pine for the energy, the love of the world, then you won't be able to transition to the love of God and love from God, life from God. Okay? So, now do you see why you must learn to meditate, to become still? God said in the Old Testament, be still and know that I am God. If you can be still, then you can get closer to Him. See? So what can you do? You can meditate and you can yearn for Him. See? Yearn for Him with all your heart and make becoming still and getting closer to God more important than anything else. Okay? So when you go out in the world, see, let's suppose that so what do you have to be careful of? Number one, stop using people. See, stop using people for anything. It doesn't mean that there can't be social intercourse where, the baker makes bread and then the carpenter repairs his house and the electrician does something and the hairdresser does something and the accountant does something. See, everybody, it's all working together. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, but what I'm saying is there has to be more than that. Okay, there has to be more than that. So don't use people to build up your ego. There you go. That's the way of saying it. Don't use people to build up your ego. See, when people praise you, then just let it go in one ear and out the other. If people criticize you, then don't resent it. See? Don't be uplifted by praise or downcast by criticism. Just stay on an even keel. Okay? And the other thing is don't try to tear people down to build yourself up. And don't try to build others up in order to build yourself up. See? Watch out for that. So with people, it should be like two flowers growing side by side, both reaching toward the sun. Okay? Instead of clinging to each other and having this sticky, enmeshing, using type of a relationship. See what I mean? That's what they call that, codependency. Then the other thing is don't resent people. If they love you or praise you, see, don't resent it. See, and don't resent them if they don't love you and praise you. Don't resent them for anything. Don't want anything from them, other than the basics. Your car repairman, mechanic fixes your car, and you see what I mean. Just that sort of thing. And so don't resent people. So don't use them. Don't resent them. Okay. And then learn to be still. Okay. So you can get closer to God. And that's what you can do. And then yearn for the Father you've never known. For the innocence that you love but have once had the taste of and then lost. Okay? So, I'm going to make an end to this video here. And I hope you enjoyed it. We're talking about eternal life. Okay? Eternal life. My name is Roland.